Welcome atheists, welcome Christians, welcome Muslims, welcome whatever you believe in. So my name is Eddie, a big welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe if you like my videos. So today I'm just going to do like a response video because I've had my second atheist do a rebuttal video to my video. And this guy is actually, sort of like a mid-level boss. So yeah, I'm quite excited about this one. His name is Logic, and I saw on my channel someone say it's an honour for you. You've been logicked, and I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? But anyway, then I saw Logic saying I've liked and subscribed, so I'm like, okay, cool, awesome. So anyway, I went into this thing, and then I saw this picture, and I was like, oh, that guy looks familiar. Oh, I think it must be me. Anyway, I clicked on it, had a very brief look. I thought I'd do a rebuttal video to his rebuttal video. Logic, if you're watching this, yeah, I just want to say that I can't, not that you would want to, I don't think it's your style, but I can't get into some like YouTube beef war thing with you, okay? So I'm going to try and keep my video as nice as possible and as pleasant as possible, so that I get lots of nice comments and or just like not horrible comments, because I had a previous experience with a YouTuber called Deconstruction Man, and he was quite a cool guy. He's very funny, and yeah, he sort of did a rebuttal video to mine. I did one to his. I don't think he liked it, and yeah, he tried to bait me into beef, but I haven't got time to do beef. And also, as a Christian, I don't do beef with people. And I know there are lots of Christians who do it, but I'm just so much holier than them. You know, I'm just so much better than them. Obviously, I'm joking. Anyway, before I start, will you just bear with me a sec while I say a prayer, all my atheist friends out there. So yeah, Father, I just pray for my atheist friends out there. I pray for Logic. I pray for Deconstruction Man if he's watching this as well. I just pray for blessings for their life. I just pray for love, peace, joy, freedom, all the good things in life. And I pray, Father, that they, learn about where I'm coming from, and I can learn about where they're coming from, and that we can not be sort of tribal, where we're like, you're wrong, I'm wrong, or you're right, I'm right, whatever. But that we can like understand each other and maybe even become friends. That'd be cool. I actually, I think I've made a couple of atheist friends.
Now I got new friends, guys who get me. There's one right now.
Who is it? Is it Ralph?
It is not Ralph.
Hi, Bart! My nose makes its own bubble gum.
I've been doing this atheist thing for about a month. I recorded all these videos a while ago anyway, but I've been studying. And prior, I did a series on, I read a book of the Quran, and I ended up making a lot of Muslim friends, which was really nice. So hopefully I can make some atheist friends as well. And then soon I'll be moving on to something else. I'll probably do some Bible studies, and then I promised the Muslims I'd do another book of their Quran. Then I might go into politics, so that'd be quite interesting, because I'm sure I'll get a lot of pushback on that. But anyway, sorry, I was praying and I've just sort of gone off on a tangent. Anyway, Father, I just pray blessings over them in Jesus' name, amen. Cool. Anyway, enough of me waffling. So I'm going to find my new friend. Ah, there he is, Logic. Responding to more awful pre-for God junk. Okay, cool. So there I am. Can you see me? Oh, I look quite buck teeth there. Oh, am I buck teeth? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, maybe not. I think I look quite young there. Anyway, it says here, even ever seen a pretty thing or liked a person? That's obviously you secretly believing in God dummy. Join my Discord. Okay, cool. So what I'm expecting, like I watched about a minute of this yesterday. I'm expecting a lot of logic, and I'm expecting a bit of mockery, because that's my experience so far with new atheists. I've got to be careful what I say. Not atheists, new atheists, and not all of the new atheists, okay? So yeah, I just want to put it out there. Anyway, should we have a quick look at his channel? 140,000 subscribers. That's impressive. Well done. Now, my first impressions are that this guy is actually quite a clever businessman. Since 2012, right? So he's been going 13 years, 140,000. So the reason why I say that is because there's nothing really. I had a brief look on his thing yesterday. I'll do it now, and you can't really find anything on him to like cross-examine him or question his beliefs or anything like that. There's nothing. He's very secretive, which is quite smart, really. So, as you can see, very short description, sort of distancing himself from any accusations of being sued. I make no claim, which is wise. And he's got Discord, a Patreon, a PayPal. He's from Canada. And I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Yeah, it's all very clever. I've noticed very clever, or very the language is all very like, oh, I'm just so neutral. I just don't really have any beliefs. And then it's like all day on the internet. But anyway, sorry, I don't sound like I'm having a dig there. He hasn't got any. He's got one short. Has he got any lives? Okay, so he's got a couple of lives, but he's very covered up. Talking to Theophilus. Okay, I won't spend too long on this, but and then has he got any? I think he's got a few posts. Okay, and I think he had some gallbladder issues. So anyway, I pray, Father, that he has complete healing for that in Jesus' name. I don't know if he'll accept my prayers, but hopefully. He's done a video approximately every week. But no, I mean, and I went right to the beginning because I wanted to see if he had a testimony or something, and there's nothing. Hang on, let's see if we can go to the first one. It was like from the start. Justin Trudeau's unhinged Islamophobia rant. That'd be quite interesting to watch. Canada passes anti-Islamophobia motion. But I thought Trudeau did an anti-Islamophobia rant. Oh, I'll look into that later. That sounds interesting. I noticed he's had a bit of a pop, not pop, but like, you know, he's had a go at, not a go, but at Islam as well, which I respect, not because I have a personal grudge against Islam, but a lot of these guys, they sort of just go after Christianity because we're like the whipping boys, because we are ironically actually very tolerant. That's why they go after us, but then at the same time they'll say, not this guy, and maybe not you if you're watching, but they'll say that we're intolerant and yada yada yada. So, oops, hang on. So the first video, 13 years ago, sorry. Hello, I'm a Scientist 1, Young Earth Part 1. Creationist Lies, hello, I'm a scientist. So straight into it. No, hi, my name is such and such, unless he did do that and he's deleted them all. But you can see why it's a very smart business model. Like, because he could go on the street, he could be, if you say he gets blown up to about 5 million or whatever, no one will know who this guy is. And what I gathered yesterday with his voice, you can do this thing where you can record your voice, send it to AI, and then send them videos, and then they would just do the video in this voice without all the ums and ahs and whatnot. And I think that's what he's done, which makes sense because he's pretty much professional now. So, right, I've got another theory. I won't talk about it, I'll tell you in a minute. But anyway, so I've got nothing to go back at him on, which is fine. I'm not here to like beat him down or whatever. But it's more just to understand where he's coming from. I'd love to know his background, whether or not he grew up in a Christian family, whether or not he grew up in an atheist family, his life experiences, all that jazz. But I don't know. If you're watching this or anyone's watching this and he's done videos like that in his 475, which obviously I'm not going to go through, please can you comment below or post links to videos describing a bit of his background and all that stuff. Not so that I can just like attack him just for the sake of it, but just so I understand where he's coming from. Anyway, anything else I've got to say? So far, yeah, very professional. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go click on this. Atheist No God.
It's called Your Heart
Look
Knows
how
God
handsome that guy
Exists,
is.
even if your mind denies it. Interesting, eh?
That doesn't sound interesting at all. That sounds tedious as hell. Yet another Christian here to tell me that, no, really, you really actually believe my religious ideas. You're just denying it. You know, if they want to tell each other this 50,000 times in church as a pathetic cope about the fact that people who disagree with them exist, that's fine. I'm sure it has a wondrous ego-soothing effect. Have at it. But why is this a thing that's brought up to atheists? It's very possible that most of you idiots don't know how ridiculous this is when you bring it up to each other. So maybe you find it super effective when you repeat it back and forth between yourselves. But we do know how ridiculous it is. And so to us, it's anything but impressive. Sometimes it's comical, mostly it's just sad. This is not something you should be telling to us directly. Keep it in the church. Bringing it up outside that context is so ineffective. And nothing annoys me more than watching someone engage in a terrible self-defeating strategy repeatedly. As an analogy, imagine you're going to fight in a battle. You're all geared up for a huge fight. It's going to be an epic confrontation that'll go down in the history books. And then you get there, and your opponent isn't there because their entire army got lost. And then they show up and line up, but they don't know where you are, so they're all facing the wrong way. And they forgot their weapons back at camp, so they're all unarmed. They forgot to go to the bathroom before they left, so they all start pissing their pants. And then you say, okay, guys, you're clearly not prepared. This is insulting. Let's all just go home. You can prepare better. We'll come back here and do this again tomorrow. And then the next day, the same thing happens again. Maybe it was funny the first time, but like the 50th or 60th day in a row of this, it's starting to get a little old. At a certain point, you might even be so annoyed that you'll start sending people over there to ask them if they want some proper training. Okay, I want you to improve your techniques, even if I disagree with you, because your absolute buffoonery is so irritating to watch. Anyway, let's watch it.
Now, before you start...
Okay, cool. So, why does it annoy you? Why does it irritate you? Like, if atheism works, or whatever it is you believe in, rationalism or humanism, whatever, if it works, why don't you have peace in your soul? Why is it that you can't watch a video without getting really irate over it? Like, you're not selling me atheism or rationalism or whatever it is you believe in, or logic. I suspect that you do this video because you've got this audience and it makes you a lot of money. If you've got 120,000 people just like you who get annoyed by this stuff, you can do a video and then it'll probably take you a few hours, and then you can make a load of money off it and then spend the rest of your week just doing whatever you want, which is fine. That's actually a pretty good business idea. But if it really annoys you, why watch the video? You don't have to watch it. Like, there's plenty of stuff that annoys me on the internet and I just don't watch it. Anyway.
Start thinking, wait a minute, a speech about God on a Friday, 2025? Who's even talking about this stuff still nowadays?
That's not a thought I'm going to have. I'm aware that Christians exist and that the topic is relevant. And I'm aware that other people also talk about the topic, myself included. But, you know, weirdly, I have seen this sentiment before, leveled at me. Oh, that topic's over. Nobody talks about that anymore. That's in the past. Now we're all talking about insert random political garbage here. As if somehow there's only ever one active topic in the world, and we all just have to follow the trend to whatever the new topic is any given week. You know, religion might have been a relevant topic for all of human history, but as of last week, it no longer is, okay? The way some people act and talk makes them seem incapable of independent thought and self-direction.
Okay, brother, yet you have a career critiquing religion. It's not relevant, is it? Yet you and 120,000 people follow you. Can you just see how just like illogical your statement is? It's not relevant, yet you spend half your life watching these videos, getting annoyed by them, and then commenting on them, and then a load of people watch them as well. Bro, it's the most relevant thing. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth because you have there's this purpose to it. There's a reason why you do it. You wear clothes so you don't get arrested. You probably, I don't know if you want to walk around naked, but you do it not to get arrested. You brush your hair so that maybe, you know, you look nice, or you put on your outfit, your suit and your little mask, which I don't think you'd probably be allowed to wear in Canada. But everything has a purpose, doesn't it? And it's like, the most logical thing is that this life has a purpose. But you're like, no it doesn't, that's a really dumb thing to say. And then you just like mock people who think that. And anyway, let's continue.
So I guess, okay, you know what? I'm going to give you that one, video guy. Some people might actually say something like that.
Well, relax. I'm not here to throw a bunch of religious jargon at you or try and guilt trip you into attending church this Sunday.
You say that as if that would be any more obnoxious than what you're actually going to do. You already told me the title of the video.
But let's talk about something for a minute.
Okay, so I've got to be nice. Okay, in this video, I noticed loads of comments, and I was like, where do they all come from? And I was chatting to an atheist guy. He's quite a nice guy. He said the algorithm must have kicked in, but now I realise it was because of you. So thank you anyway. Thank you for pointing a load of people to and I got, I think, 5 subscribers, which is great. Thank you. I noticed in the comments, and I've got to be really respectful here, okay? Because I don't want to like be tribal and, you know, aggravate you guys and we're like this, whatever. But I noticed that my title really annoyed people. I didn't mean to annoy you, but I did mean to maybe overgeneralize a bit, to hook you guys in to then watch my video, because then hopefully what I'm saying in my video might plant a seed for you guys to open your mind a bit. And now I know that's going to annoy some of you, me saying that, because I know you think I'm ignorant. This is such a fascinating conversation, isn't it? Because, well, 10 years ago I was a non-Christian, and I used to think that people who believed in Jesus were crazy. If I was next to someone, they're going, Jesus, Jesus, I would literally walk away. I remember going to church once, and some guy was doing this hands, I just walked out. So I totally understand where you're coming from, but I guess what my main point for this whole video is that if you haven't experienced something, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Now, I know you'll come back at me with some clever wordplay. Well, it's not that I don't believe in it, it's because I just lack belief. And I'm not mocking you there. I'm not mocking you guys, okay? But all I'm saying is that, like, if 93% of the world believe in something, it's most logical to think that maybe it exists. Not that it exists, but maybe it exists. Not to just shut it off. I'll give a quick analogy. If you're from Canada, say you're from Toronto, and there's a McDonald's there, 93% of people in your city, including you, have been to that McDonald's, and you're talking about it. And I say to you, that's baloney. You're just a clown. You're an idiot. It doesn't exist. You'd be like, yeah, it does. I've been there. I've experienced it. And then I said to you, you guys are all just stupid. You're thick. You're low intelligent, low IQ. People today, like me, we're so much cleverer than people in the past. You only believe that McDonald's exists because your father believes that McDonald's exists. And then you're like, well, hang on, actually, my father's an atheist and my girlfriend's from a Buddhist family. She believes in Christ, and the most intelligent man in the world is a Christian. You know, it's like, it's got nothing to do with IQ. It's got to do with experience, okay? And then if I said to you, well, no, actually, I can rationalize your experience away. How do you know it even exists? Or some baloney like that. You'd be like, hang on, you're the one supposed to believe in logic, yet you're just coming out with these alternative theories. You know what I mean? Like what you accuse us of. Anyway, I hope all that makes sense. But anyway, I'm not ranting. I'm just trying to, you know, say that that's going to be my main point to this rebuttal video. Anyway, let's continue watching.
Exactly one, no more.
Have you ever had one of those moments when you're staring at a sunset or hearing a beautiful song, or you're just watching someone do something selfless, and you get this weird, unexplainable feeling in your chest? It's like something deep inside that says, this is not random, this is too beautiful to be by accident. This is something divine.
No, I wasn't raised in your religion. I don't have your religious ideas. I never have. This kind of thinking is entirely alien.
Yeah, but right, what he's doing now is he's trying to pin it on being raised in my religious ideas, as if this is some sort of indoctrination. So what he's trying to say is, it's like religious people only believe this because they've been indoctrinated with it. But that's simply not the case. Like I look at a sunset, and it makes me feel a lot different to looking at that wall. And it's like, what, I don't know if you believe in evolution or whatever, but like, how does that serve in terms of like survival of the fittest or purposes to do with evolution? Anyway.
To me. Now, if he hadn't tacked on "this is something divine" at the end, and you had kept it at "this is not random and this is not an accident," then of course the beautiful song is not random and is not an accident. The selfless act as well is presumably not random and not an accident. These are humans doing things. I'm aware that these are not accidental things. The sunset as well, aside from the very fine-grained details of it, but the general fact of how a sunset appears from Earth also is not random. It's essentially an inevitable product of the physical reality that we occupy, right? When the sunlight comes through the atmosphere at a low angle like that, that's what's going to happen to the visible light.
Okay, so what he's doing now, or what you're doing now, is what a lot of atheists do. And again, I say all this with respect. I'm not trying to like have a go at you guys or put you down or anything like that. But you're explaining how. And it's like, but before the how, there's something that created it, and there's a why. And this is like ration, logic, atheism doesn't explain why. It's so interesting, because I watch a sunset and I'll say that's really beautiful, I can see God in that, and then you guys would just explain to me how it happened, as if then that explains away the God hypothesis. But I'm like, well, no, that doesn't. You're just explaining how it's happened, like science that we've learned or discovered. Anyway,
strokes of this process are repeatable. At the lowest quantum level, there might be some randomness, but we're not talking about that level. We're talking about the overall macro scale phenomenon, and that's not random. Random, nor is it accidental, unless you mean it in the significantly less common sense of non-essential, which I don't think you do, because you didn't call it accidental, you said by accident, which implies a mistake, which if there's no person involved...
It's just playing on words. Again, this is a trick by the atheists. It's like, instead of actually talking about the real thing, you just start playing on words, like nitpicking at words.
Involved makes zero sense. It's also not unexpected, it's not a chance occurrence. There's no sense in which the word accident makes any sense when applied to this. And then again, with regard to this word accident, you said that the reason that it can't be by accident is because it's too beautiful, as if your perception of something as being pretty has some bearing on its cause, whether its cause was planned or expected or chance or not, or whether this thing was the product of a mistake, which is a non sequitur. There's no link between those ideas. You've just said two things.
Yeah, but the thing is, bro, it's like, again, like you look at a beautiful painting, you know that there's a painter behind it. Like I said earlier, like why would, like, we all look at a sunset, apart from maybe the odd person. I'm sure there's someone in the comments who be like, it's just a sunset. But when you look at it, it's beautiful. Like, what purpose? If this is all just evolution and just random and like there's no purpose, no point to anything, why does a sunset and a sunrise fill us with joy? Why do we, like, our endorphins, whatever it is, start pinging like, oh wow, that's amazing? The most logical thing is that there is an artist behind that beautiful sunset. There's different colours. Like every night you look at it, it's different, isn't it? And it's different colours, and it looks like that there is an artist behind it that wants to give you as a person joy. And every day that he's doing that sunset just for you, it's different for every person, and he wants you to feel joy. Just like if I was to do a painting and I'd want people to look at it and go, wow. It just mirrors that, doesn't it? It's the most like logical thing.
Things in sequence and then expected me to take them as causally connected. And then, of course, additionally, something not being by accident does not necessarily imply that it's something divine, and something being divine doesn't necessarily imply that it's not by accident. Could be God's mistake. So we're less than a minute in, and already you're speaking.
Yeah, I'm 5 minutes into your video already, and I'm just like, what is this guy talking about? I mean, sorry, I shouldn't say that. It sounds like, you know, a bit disrespectful, but it's just a different worldview, isn't it? What I gather by the comments, okay, and there's a lot of mockery. I look at this video of this here, and respect to you, mate. 140,000 people, you're earning a good living. You know, you've probably got a fantastic life in Canada. You're probably going skiing and hunting bears or whatever. But like, okay, I've got to be really careful what I say, but like your picture is a dead tree. There's a man all in black with a red and a blue eye. Now, I don't know what that means. Maybe it's something relevant. There's a moon in the background with something stuck in it. And then some sort of like temple thing. Everything's red. It's just very gloomy and dark. And then these videos are just so like negative. Like the video and the comments are negative. There's nothing like uplifting or life-giving or positive or engaging. Like, oh yeah, I can understand where you're coming from. You know, like maybe, oh, 93% of you of the world believe in a higher power. Oh, I can appreciate that. You know, that you might have encountered God in certain ways, but it hasn't happened for me. It's just all like just negative and just pessimism. There's like no joy. Anyway, I say that with respect. Please don't, please don't be upset by what I'm saying. I'm not trying to. Maybe I went a bit too far with that. But anyway, let's carry on. I've got to let him talk more. I've been talking too much.
Speaking total gibberish. You're saying a bunch of words that sound nice to you when you jam them all together, but they actually make very little sense together.
And maybe your mind says, oh, don't be silly, that's just chemistry, hormones, Earth's atmosphere, or whatever. Science, the explanation that you've heard recently.
Well, again, I don't say anything to myself about this because I don't have this idea you're talking about in the first place. But yeah, perhaps if I find myself curious about why humans find things nice, I'll turn to a scientific explanation for how humans work.
Oh my goodness, that is so depressing. That's like such a depressing thing to say, bro. You'll turn to science. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Scientists, I love you. I appreciate you. Like, if it wasn't for science, I wouldn't have this. I appreciate you, respect you. Okay.
And if I find myself curious about why there's a sunset and why it looks the way it does, yeah, maybe I'll turn to scientific explanations for that too.
Oh.
Why does the sky turn pink? Gee, I wonder if science has anything valuable to say on this topic.
But I'm
Bro, have you... Okay, I've got... Well, okay. Do you... Seriously, respectfully, do you have, like, imagination and, you know, a zeal for life, you know, travel? Do you, like, listen to music and appreciate the beauty in it? Like, do you have any romance in your life, you know, like... Or is everything just science? Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Let's continue.
here to tell you that your heart knows God exists, even when your mind tries to deny it.
Yes, I know, you already introduced the topic at the start. That was 1 minute ago. Believe it or not,
You're literally like the head teacher of a school. I mean, look how upright you are. It's like, yes, sir.
Why are all these women married? Mrs. D, Mrs. I, you're supposed to be teaching spelling, not poetry.
Could it be possible? Now, I'm not saying you. I know in the comments I got so many people angry at me because they're saying I'm lying and that I'm telling them what they think. And like, okay, my video title was a hook. It was a hyperbole, over generalization. Technically, that is a lie, I guess. And if that is the case, then I take that back. My goal wasn't to upset anyone. When I did that video, I was getting 5 people watching my videos to do with like atheism and stuff. So I wasn't really bothering with them, you know what I mean? I wasn't reading over them and rewriting them and thinking about what anyone thinks or cares about it. Obviously, you got latched onto it. I've got all these people now watched it and they're upset with me. If I was to do the video again, I probably would reword it because, you know, the Bible's very clear about us not lying. And I'm not saying that to like virtue signal or I'm better than you or anything like that. I don't think I am better than you guys. But just on that subject of, could it be possible, and comment below without getting upset or offended, just using your logic, your science, that you're watching all these videos on Christianity, you're watching all these videos and you're watching this guy, and logic, you started this channel because maybe there is something in you that does have an interest in whether or not there is a God. But from a Christian perspective, how we see like people like you, not you in particular, I'm sure you've got lots of valid reasons to be an atheist, but we believe that, say you got 2 people, one's got big biceps, one's got small biceps. The one with big biceps works on his biceps. The guy with small biceps works on his legs, okay? So say he's got big legs. So you've got one guy with big legs, small biceps, one with big biceps, small legs. When the person who's got big biceps tries to use his legs, they're very small, he finds it really hard. And then the person who's got big legs but small biceps, when he tries to use his biceps, he finds it really hard. You guys have got neurological pathways, and you've got certain muscles in your brain or whatever that are very strong to do with logic and reason. There are people in this world who aren't so strong in that area, but they're very strong spiritually. Now their world, because it's different to your world, it doesn't mean that their world does not exist, and it doesn't mean that your world, because you're good with logic and reason, is better or superior to their world. It just means that your spiritual muscles are very small, therefore when you try to use them, which I'm sure you have tried to use them, you didn't really get anywhere with it, and you defaulted back to what you're good at and what brings you joy and pleasure, and that's using your logic and reason. And these people over here who are not so good with logic and reason, or they might be good with logic and reason, but they've got these spiritual muscles, they can tap into that really easy, and they can get joy, and they see things that you don't see. But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and it's beyond me why you mock them. Because logic, the most logical thing is that if these people experience something you don't, the most logical thing is that it could well exist. But the crazy thing is that you guys listen to all the new atheists, you listen to Dawkins, you listen to Logic and that, and they just come up with some theory, and then you're like, yeah, that's it. And it's because you have confirmation bias. You're looking for a reason not to believe in God. And that's why I believe that a lot of you, not you, so please don't get angry, but a lot of you reject God not because of logic, not because of reason, but because of emotional reasons, because of pride, because you've met Christians who are annoying, you've met Christians who are pretty thick. You're not willing to even consider that there's a God because you like your lifestyle at the moment. I go down Speaker's Corner here in Sydney and I speak to atheists. And there's one guy down there, he's sort of like a Buddhist. And he said to me last weekend, he said, I don't believe in Jesus because I'm not willing to. And I really respected that. I was like, finally, someone who's actually honest. And then I speak to a load of the other atheists down there who are very nice people. They're very intelligent. But they'll come up with all these reasons like you come up with. And then I dig deep a bit. And then they're like, I went to a Catholic school as a kid. And X, Y, Z. And I'm like, oh, there we go. There it is. It's emotional reasons. And then, which is very valid. Like, it matters. Like, those emotional reasons matter. And like I said, I'm not saying that's you. You know, you might genuinely not believe in God because of reason. But when you actually look at reasons for not believing in God, and I know you'll say like, oh, you know, we don't have to have reasons for not believing in God. It's your burden of proof. But they don't hold up. Anyway, I'll stop ranting.
I remember things from 1 minute ago. How does that happen? I don't know. My dumb ass would probably think that's a science-y question. Ugh.
Your mind's got all its theories and explanations, but your heart's been in on the secret from the start.
It's kind of a fascinating idea these people have, that there's some kind of hidden part of your mind, some dusty, cobwebby corner of your subconscious that possesses knowledge of which you're unaware. It's especially weird to me because I would consider awareness to be foundational to the concept of knowledge.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm misinterpreting what you're saying. Isn't that what the conscious mind is? It's like information that we're actually unaware of. Oh, sorry, our subconscious mind even. Our subconscious mind.
Like, if you're presented with a question and you consider it and you don't come up with this particular answer, in what way can you possibly be said to know that answer? Now, of course, that's me speaking for myself. I don't come up with his proposed answer. I have no awareness of this answer being the true one. My heart tells me nothing of the sort. Maybe someone else's does, but his proposal seems to be intended to be universal, that everyone does come up with this answer, that everyone has awareness of its truth, which is false in my...
Yeah, obviously. you know, it's just a generalization. You know, I'm just using hyperbole. I'm using strong statements to get your guys' attention, to irk something in you, so that you engage with me. But I think I've probably gone a bit too far with my language, because I think it's interesting, isn't it? And I'm sure you're aware of this. Like, if I was just to use very neutral language, like, I just get no one watching it. But so sometimes you use words or language that's a bit more antagonistic, or slightly a bit more exaggerating, to try and draw people in, to try and so they engage with you, so they go away and think about it. But I think I probably underestimated you guys, or you know, I'm quite inexperienced in this. I've only done a few videos on atheism and whatnot. You know, I've been reading on it for a while, well, trying to understand you guys. But I probably use. So I don't think every one of you. You know what I mean? I take that back and I apologise anyway. So yeah, you've got an apology at me.
Case I know for a fact that it's false, and therefore I know he doesn't know what he's talking about. If his idea were true, then maybe there would be some sort of merit to this, but considering that he's proposed a way to test it which should apply to everyone, and the test has failed in my case my entire life, and therefore that my personal experience falsifies his hypothesis, at least to my satisfaction. Of course, it's different for everyone else who would have to take me at my word, but nevertheless, all this being the case...
Fair enough. I'll give you that one.
I know for a fact, based on his standards, that his claim has no merit, and therefore that he's a clown who's just making things up or parroting things other people made up in some bizarre...
I did actually have a fancy dress outfit as a clown. It was really cool, actually. I used to, when I was a non-Christian, this guy, you know, partying, drinking, I was dressed as a clown. It was pretty funny. Like, you see people's faces, they look mortified, you know. They'd be like, oh my God, there's a clown. It's quite funny. But no, I appreciate that, you know, everyone's experience is different, your experience is different, so yeah, fair enough.
Self-soothing ritual. He appears to possess no special insight into the general human condition or the minds of others, but believes he has access to the deepest of truths about that. And so to me, he comes off as so deeply unserious that, again, it's like watching the opposing army piss themselves.
It's like that one friend who always knows the...
Yeah, I've definitely annoyed you. Like, I'm sorry, bro. I don't mean to annoy you. You know, I'm just trying to get you to think outside of your box. You know what I mean? Because it's difficult me saying this. Being a Christian is a better life than what you guys have. I know that will annoy you, some of you. You'll be like, oh, how you don't even know my life. Rah, 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 rah. But just from what I hear from you guys, and I see in the comments, and it appears to me, and again, I'm not overgeneralization, I know you're all different, but you guys are searching for something. You know what I mean? You're on this world like I am, spinning around the sun, and you're watching all these videos on religion, and then you're like, oh, it's just so stupid. But I can see you guys are searching for something to understand the world. You're trying to understand it. And if I question you, you're like, no, I don't care. And reading between the lines, I don't pick up a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, a lot of peace. And what I'm saying is that, like, prior to me being a Christian, I was so, you know, okay, I don't want to be like one of these, oh, I was so lost and now I'm saved, or oh, it's all great. But Christianity is amazing. Like, what you've been taught about Christianity is not true. You've been propagandized by the new atheists. And a lot of them is from universities that are very influenced by Marxism, anti-Christian. And Christianity is so different to what I thought it was prior to being a Christian. I thought it was the Pope, moody, boring Christians, and a church building. But it's not like that at all. There's so many things to it that are really exciting, are fun, and you have community, and you love, peace, joy, and you connect with God, and God is real. I know you think I'm crazy. I used to think people who spoke like me were crazy, but God is real. Anyway, enough of that. You're probably either laughing or switching off right now or whatever. Anyway, gosh, my uploading's not very good. You can see like the black thing at the bottom there. I'm amateur.
truth when the rest of the group are debating it.
Is that a thing? Is that some common thing in friend groups? You're using it as an example to compare the heart thing to, I would assume because you find it to be more of a common, relatable experience. But I'm not sure this is some broadly typical characteristic of friend groups. Am I wrong about this? Maybe I just have weird friends.
So let's dive into what your heart already knows.
Yes, please enlighten me with your grand insights into my interior mental state. I find this deeply interesting and...
Yeah, but I didn't say mental state, I said your heart, bro. And it's quite funny because in the comments people are like, your heart is just an organ that pumps blood, as if it's like a really intelligent thing to say. I'm like, okay mate, yeah, but you know what I mean. You know, anyway.
Valuable.
Something that your mind is sort of trying to catch up with. Point number one, the search.
So yeah, what I'm trying to say, and I'm sure you're aware of it, there's something different between our brain, you know, logic and reason and all that, and then our heart, you know, the thing that loves people, you know, you could say our, you know, things that are emotions, and there's a difference there, and you guys are always trying to pin it back to the brain, to the mind, or I know a lot of you don't even believe in a mind. You're like, no, it's just a physical thing. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Anyway, God bless you guys. God bless you guys. So, hang on, what time is it? I've got to go out soon. So, hang on. Oh crap, hang on. I might have to end this video. I'll finish it on 10 minutes.
For meaning. Alright, so let's start with a big one. Why are we here? Huge question, right?
Whether that question is huge and deep, or incredibly shallow and small, interesting or incredibly dull, useful or useless, depends largely, I think, on what you mean by the word why. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to readily agree on...
Oh man. Again, like, you guys like overthink stuff like crazy. You like hone in on a word and you're like, oh hang on, the actual definition of that is blah 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 blah, and therefore you're wrong. And I'm just like don't overthink it. You know what I mean. Like, why are we here? The most important question of all time. Okay, maybe not all, you know what I mean. It's the most important question in your life. Why are you here? What's your purpose? If you were to die tomorrow, why? Why? How do you want to be remembered? Like, oh, so I just die, just disappear, and then the universe just disappears. Who cares? Do you want to see how depressing that is? In Christianity, we say you can live on this planet right now with joy, peace, love, freedom, despite what goes on, despite people dying, despite you getting illnesses and sicknesses, and you can have a really good life despite your circumstances. You can be dirt poor and really happy, and then when you die you get to be with your creator. And I know a lot of you are like questioning, oh, what about hell? You know, why would a God make, he can't be a good God if he has. How is, there's different perspectives on hell, and there's a school of thought that just says if you reject God your whole life, when you die he rejects you because you didn't want to be with him, which is common. Like, why would he want to be with you if he's got, you know, 7 billion of us on the planet, and you spend your whole life mocking him and doing videos like mocking him, and then you die? Why can't he just get rid of you if he made you and there's 7 billion other people like you? All I'm saying is just keep an open mind
on which meaning of why we should be going with for this question to be interesting or meaningful.
So what's the point of this whole life thing?
Yeah, we're not going to agree.
If you've ever been in deep thought at 2 a.m, staring at the ceiling, asking those questions, congratulations, you're human.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've laid in bed asking myself, what's the point of what I'm doing? What does it bring me? What will be its impact on the people around me? What are my goals and ambitions? That kind of thing. And sure, if you mean something else, like, what's the end goal God assigned me? What is the dictated purpose placed upon my shoulders? Then no, that kind of thing does not occur to me, because that's, again, your religious idea. You think like that.
No, bro, it's not a religious idea though, is it? I used to think that before I became a Christian. People think this all the time. Like, you speak to so many people who are atheists or whatever, and they become Christian, and they were like, yeah, I was just thinking, like, what am I doing in my life? Why am I here? That's not got nothing to do with religion. That's just like common sense, isn't it? If you're like, it's exactly the same thing as what you just said. Like, okay, what am I doing in my life? Like, what am I doing in my work? How am I doing my business? You're thinking, what am I doing in my situation right now, my business and where I live and my family and whatever? It's exactly the same thing, but just slightly bigger picture. It's like, what am I doing? You know, so you're saying, what am I doing right now with these certain things? Saying, what am I doing in my life is just the bigger picture. But then, because it's a thought that we Christians say, or we say to you, you have to reject it, don't you? You get, like, you shut it down because it comes from a Christian, which tells me that you have an emotional bias against Christians, and I'd love to get to, like, actually speak to you about your life and everything like that to understand why. And I know me saying that will annoy you, because you're like, I'm not opening up to this guy. Who does he think he is? He thinks he knows me, and he thinks he knows better than me, and he thinks he knows everything about me and my heart, and blah 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 blah. I don't know. Anyway, I've got to go. I'm going to leave it there because I've got to go into the city. I'm actually going to a Bible study. I'll probably do some Bible studies soon. You guys can join in. When I do my Bible studies, guys, like, I challenge you just to sit through it with me, okay? And you might like it. You might find it interesting. Like, especially if you like history and stuff like that. We're not like really weird, nerdy people, but like, we're actually pretty normal people. And if you actually like got to know some of us Christians, you'd realise that we're actually like, there's things that you might like about us. But anyway, God bless you guys. This video, obviously, I'm doing a rebuttal to your rebuttal, so I'm being like critical, like using critical thinking, which is something that you at the start don't think I have, which is fine. But I've got nothing. Love, for you. I know that sounds weird, but respect to you guys. I don't think I'm better than you. I'm not looking down on you. I don't think I know you better than you know yourself or anything like that. Like I said in my videos, I was just trying to use a bit of hyperbole, trying to like poke you a bit with a stick, and it worked. A YouTube of 140,000 people has commented on my video that I've got like 500 subscribers. But anyway, God bless you. I just pray for you. I pray for you have a good week. I pray for you have a good evening. And I pray for health, peace, love, joy, freedom. And I pray you become a Christian, because it is a better life. Okay? And I challenge you just to, when I do a Bible study, just to come along and just join in. I challenge you. Okay? Prove to me that you're not small-minded and narrow-minded. Prove to me that that you're open-minded. Okay? And I say that with love. Okay? Please don't get offended. Anyway, I'm going to end this now, and I'm going to watch the rest of this over the weekend. Okay, thank you. God bless you. Goodbye.